Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So something a little bit different today, guys. I was tagged. Yes, I was. Now, I don't know how long this tag video will be. I am doing it off the cuff, on the fly, so to speak. But because someone took the effort to tag me, I feel that it's only right that I complete it. So the tag originally came from the Spoony Stitcher. I will tag her channel down below in the description box. Go check her out. She is a lot of fun, and thank you very much for the tag. We do appreciate it in the Yarny community when we have these fun little games to play. Now, the person who actually did the tag from the Spoony Stitcher and then tagged me was the wonderful Jules from Jules Crafts. Hey, Jules. Thank you so much for the tag, honey. Now, the tag is called hashtag Fibre Artist Nopes 2025. And essentially, it is us podcasters who run through a few of the things in our fibre artist lives that are just a hard nope. Now, these may evolve and change over time. For a long time, was very stubborn in saying, I'm never going to do it. That's not for me. I'm never going to like it. Never is a very long time, guys. And over the course of my YouTube journey, from following a lot of lovelies here in the fibre community, I have realised that you should never say never. I've also realised that in my real life as well, because, like I said, never is a very long time. Tastes change, circumstances change, life changes. You've got to adapt and adjust as time goes on. So what I'm going to do is, firstly, I'm going to go through a couple of things that always used to be a hard nope, but have changed. And then I will give you the up-to-date ones that are a nope for right now, but that may change in the future. We are allowed to change our minds. That is adaptation, growth, just how life should be. We shouldn't pigeonhole ourselves into boxes forever. If we want to change, we can. Okay, that's evolution, right? So, for a long time in my crochet journey, career, whatever you want to call it, there were a few things that were a hard nope that have kind of changed. One of them was the crab stitch. Now, the crab stitch was never, ever a favourite of mine. I can do it, but it's not enjoyable. It is laborious. It is time consuming. It produces a lovely edging on items such as blankets. It does have its place. Everything has its place in our crafting world. It's just whether you choose to use it within your personal crafting. I always found it a little bit clumsy. I always found it a little bit fiddly. I always found it a little bit aggravating because it took so long to do. But then over the years, I have seen tips and tricks along the way to make it slightly easier. And I am more inclined to do it than I once was. Is it the first stitch that I am going to choose to edge my blankets and things? No. But is it something that I am more tolerable and I am more inclined to do on the odd occasion? Yes, because it does look so beautiful. And I have also learned that it's not about how quick you get things done. It's about the actual overall look of the finished piece, or what you are aiming to create with the finished piece, that counts more. So the crab stitch, I wouldn't say we're best friends, but I would say that we are occasional acquaintances, and it's okay. We're still getting to know each other. We're still getting to like each other. But it used to be a firm nope, but it isn't anymore. Along that lines are, and I am quite well known for saying nope to these stitches, and it's things like bobbles, puffs, and popcorns. Can I do them? Yes. Do I enjoy them? they're not my favourite. I used to avoid them as much as possible for a long time. Like I said, it's not that I can't do them, it's just I don't enjoy doing them. Sometimes I don't want to have my yarn eaten up so much because they are yarn eater stitches. But again, as my craft has been evolving, sometimes I do want to eat up as much yarn as I can. So, you know, the parameters shift and change as time goes on. And actually, I am currently making a lot of squares that involve puff stitches. It has a beautiful look to the square with those puff stitches. It gives it a bit of interest, a bit of intrigue, a bit of texture, a little something extra. I just find it a little bit monotonous. It can be tricky sometimes if you don't manage to pull that final loop through all the what feels like bajillion loops on your hook. So, you can get caught up and then you have to untangle it, pull it out and try again. But when you get into a rhythm, it's not that bad. And actually, by doing those squares for my charity blankets, again, it has made me a little more warm to the idea. Again, are we best friends? No. Are we becoming more of, occasional acquaintances? Yes, because like I said, sometimes it just gives that project you're making a little bit of something extra, and it gives you the look that you are wanting in your pieces. So puffs I've kind of made peace with a little bit more. Bobbles, they're still not my favorite. Yes, I can do them. I'm not going to avoid them as much as I used to, though. And I think, with the bobble, just a little bit of a snapshot in the past. One of the first big blanket projects that I did when I first learnt to crochet were again squares, but in these squares there were hearts, and the hearts were formed using bobbles. Again, I had to do a lot of those squares, and I think I burnt myself out on bobbles way too soon in my crocheting lifespan to date. So I think that's where the kind of to bobbles comes from, which is slightly unfair now that, I'm a little more proficient in my crochet and I'm a little more confident in my abilities, and I'm able to be quicker with my makes. I'm not quite so, no, thank you. Absolutely not. But again, it's not going to be one of those stitches that I gravitate towards, and I'm not about to do a whole blanket out of bobbles. It's just not going to happen. And what I've said about the puffs and the bobbles is the same for popcorns. They have their place. They do look beautiful, where they're placed in certain projects. And, I am more tolerant to them. So I don't think anyone can say about me now that I'm not going to do them, because I do. I've proven that, like I said, with the puff stitch squares that I'm currently making. But they won't be the patterns with those stitches in that I reach for first. But if I'm asked to, or if it's perfect for what I'm wanting, then I will. What else did I used to say never, but I do a lot of now? Well, again, back in the day, I wasn't very confident in my amigurumi. My first few amigurumi were, let's just say, a bit like Frankenstein's monster. And it took a long while for me to build up my confidence with amigurumi. But as you know now, guys, I absolutely love making my amigurumi. They are some of my most favorite things to make. So that has shifted over time as well. I wasn't very confident in like wearables, garments and things. And again, that's shifted. I'm building my confidence in that. I wouldn't say I am, loving it and proficient in it, but I am warming up to it a lot more than I used to be. I'd be like, no, I'm not making myself a sweater. It's going to be hideous and I'm never going to wear it. That is now no longer the case. So I am going to keep, ploughing on with the wearables as and when the fancy takes me. So that has shifted. What else? I suppose now we could look into the things that I'm still like, no, no, thank you, absolutely not. I have very limited experience with some of the more novelty yarns, Boucle yarn is all right. Is it a favourite? No, but it isn't one that I go, ugh, I'm not touching it. I will use boucle yarn. I have tried to use like the furs, and I can use the furs if it's something simple. You might remember a year or two ago, I did make some fluffy bunny tails for old work colleagues at an old previous job for Easter. That was about my limit, guys. It's not a favourite for me. None of the novelty yarns are favourites for me. All power to you if you are somebody that embraces the novelty yarns. It's just not for me. It's not my cup of tea. I will give it a go if I'm required to, but I'm not going to rush to it. I'm not going to be buying loads of it. That is a fibre artist nope for me right now. The same goes for the chenille and velvety things. You might have seen in yesterday's video when I made my crochet monster that I did try and use like a chenille velvety yarn for the first time, and it wasn't the most successful first attempt. Again, I'm not going to say never, but for right now, I'm going to avoid those types of yarn because at the moment, I just want pressure-free, stress-free, bring me joy in my crafting and my fibre work, not something that is going to just ramp up the frustration, ramp up the and not enjoy what I'm making. So for right now, the chenille, the velvets, and the novelty yarns are a fibre artist nope for this year. Um, but it's great because at least I know there are yarns out there that I'm not going to buy loads of because my yarn addiction is completely out of control. So those are types of yarn that Manfa isn't going to go cuckoo bananas for. So that's a positive at least. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head what nopes are. Kind of a half nope is commissions. I will do them. I have done them. I will probably do them in the future, but it has to be something that I am, totally in the zone and ready for. It has to be something worthwhile to me, whether it's for somebody that I really love and care about, or I am going to get a decent price for the work that I make. Because sadly, in our community, the handmade stuff that we put all of our soul and hearts and love and effort into, and a lot of time and materials into, they don't sell for what they're worth for the most part. A few people have managed to tap into it and make it a success for them, but for the vast majority of us, we could never make the money for what our items are worth. So you'd have to be either a super special person to me for me to do it, or you would be prepared to actually pay me what it's worth, and those occasions don't come up very often. So it's a half nope. I'd rather not, but if the situation arises, I will. That doesn't mean you can now flood my inbox with a load of commissions, just saying. um what else? Teaching other people. I did teach Mike. It was really different with Mike though, because my teaching methods are very unconventional. I had to find a language and terminology that he could click with, which I would never be able to put out to the wider audience. So it was okay teaching Mike, but there were still really frustrating moments. The same with my middle boy Liam. Back in lockdown, I did teach him to crochet, kind of the basics, and he latched onto it for a while. He hasn't picked up a hook in years now. And it was okay, but I'm not a natural teacher, guys. I've tried doing, little stitch tutorials here on the channel. It just isn't my bag. It's just not a natural, easy thing for me right now. Again, never say never. Currently at my new job on a Friday, we are trying to encourage the children to try something different and to socialise with other class groups and things. And a colleague of mine does know how to crochet, but she's a pencil grip, and she uses UK terminology, whereas I'm a knife grip and I prefer US terminology. Excuse me. So we very quickly figured out that she would do the teaching aspect of it. I would just do the cheerleading and the supporting and the encouraging. Um, yes, it's great that I get paid for an hour on a Friday to sit and crochet, mainly because I'm just a second adult with the group of children that she's with, you know, for ratios and things. It is predominantly her doing the teaching, so all credit to her. Um, it is just not something that comes naturally to me, guys. It's the same with anything I do. I am quick to frustrate, I've noticed about myself. Like even things showing people how to do things on the computer. I just want to snatch the mouse out of their hands and do it for them because it's just not, they're not getting it and they're not getting it quick enough, and I'm getting annoyed. And that is a real big failing on my part. I know that that says more about me than it says about other people, but at least I recognize in myself that I am not the most patient natural teacher in the world. So teaching others is not something right now that I can facilitate because it just won't end up well. And I don't want to fall out with anyone, and I don't want to make anyone feel in any way negative, and I don't want to feel bad about myself because, you know, more negative qualities of me come out in those instances. So yeah, no, for right now that's a big fiber artist nope. No thank you. um I can't think of much else on the top of my head, to be honest with you. Now, another thing that Jules did when she did this tag video is she just kind of went into generic kind of life notes. You know, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to touch on them. Most of you are going to know these already, but to just make it a bit more personal. um the big nopes in my life is lying. Please don't lie to me. It hurts me more than anything else in the world. I would much rather you be mean and call me names and curse at me and be really disgusting in that way than lie to me. And that is the absolute truth. I cannot abide lying in any way, shape, or form. It instantly gets my hackles up. It instantly makes me see red, and it instantly hurts me more than anything else in the world. Please don't lie to me. I'm not saying you guys watching because, you know, you're all lovely people. I'm just saying in general, don't tolerate liars in any way, shape, or form. Even silly lies. Just why go to the effort of lying and keeping secrets and hiding stuff? Because, you know, I teach my kids it's much better to get in a little bit of trouble for telling the truth than getting in absolute tons of trouble for lying, because it is always going to be worse for you if you lie to me. The second one is fake. I don't like fake. Just be your authentic self. You will either be someone that I can gel with and we can be friends with, or not, and it's okay. Not everyone is each other's cup of tea. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just you're not my kind of person, and it's okay. I may not be yours. It is absolutely fine. As I get older, I realize that that's okay. We don't have to be best friends with absolutely everyone. It is okay. Just don't be fake. Don't be all lovely to my face. Don't be telling me what I want to hear. Don't be so over complimentary that I think we've got a genuine thing going on, and then behind my back be, you know, down talking me. Don't be slagging me off, lying about me, saying the exact opposite about me than what you do to my face. Don't like it. Don't tolerate it. When you're caught, we're done. Same with lying. When you're caught, we're done. Um, so I suppose along with fake as snake, if you're going to be a snake and pretend to be a person to my face that you're not a person when I'm not around, yeah, that don't fly either. I've been bitten a couple of times, a lot of times. And yeah, that don't wash with me either. I used to be the type of person that would say that I'd come directly to you and spell it out to you, but actually that takes a lot of energy and that takes a lot of emotion as well. I let that person figure it out and wait for them to come to me and say, look, is there an issue? And I'd be like, yes, and this is the reason why. Some people would call that cowardly. I call it self-preservation. I have been hurt and burnt so many times by people I thought really cared about me, who really loved me and who I could trust 100%. And it actually turns out that I can't. And actually, yeah, no, I'm just gonna fade you out of my life. I'm just gonna erase you over time, and Whatever your feelings on that are, you are valid in those feelings. But for me, that is what I need to do right now. I cannot be dealing with confrontation. I cannot be dealing with drama. I cannot be dealing with causing wars with people. I'm not down for that. I'm not a kid in the playground anymore, guys. I'm a grown woman who's fast approaching 40. Just, if you feel something's off, if you feel something's changed, then by all means come and ask me. And I'm not going to lie to you, because what I've just said about lying, if I don't like people doing it to me, I ain't going to do it to you. But I'm also not going to bring it to the table to cause something that doesn't need to happen. Yeah, so I don't know. I think there are quite a few nopes for me, but again, they all evolve and change over time. I don't want to keep you too long today, guys. I've got the rest of my batch recording to do, so I do need to get a move on. I got a bit of a late start today. Sorry about that. But yeah, just generally, just try and be in your life how you portray yourself to be. So, like, I suppose to sum it up, on my channel, I am always saying, be good, be kind, look after one another. If you can live your life trying to do those as much as possible, then, that can only ever be a good thing. I wouldn't say those things on my channel if I didn't mean them and if they weren't the truth. Now, I can't say that about other people. Only they know if that's their truth or not, but for me it is my truth. And I'm not going to be very kind if I go to people bringing drama and upset to their door. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to quietly back away and remove toxic from my life quietly. Just don't preach things about yourself, or don't preach to others to be that way if you're not going to be that yourself. Be authentic, be true, be kind. There isn't enough kindness in this world, and sadly, even though I'm getting older, I still occasionally fall a cropper to it. And yeah, it just doesn't go over very well. And that's okay. That is okay. But I don't want to finish this segment on a downer. There are a lot of yeps. There are more yeps than there are nopes. So I've given you a few example of nopes. Maybe there will be a tag at some point in the future that are the heck yes. But this was a nope channel. But ultimately, I just want everyone to find happiness and joy when they can. I want them to know that it's okay not to be okay. Not everything in life is sunshine, rainbows, sparkles, flamingos in my case. There are dark days, there are hard days, there are things that crop up in life that are unexpected and hard to deal with, and it's okay. But if you can be kind to yourself and let yourself ride those storms as well as riding those highs, we'll make it through. We have to all make it through, and we all have to support each other in that. And I am always here to support anyone that needs it most, and celebrate those that are riding a high and cheerlead them and be right by their side. And I just want all the nice, happy, positive as much as possible. Is it sustainable every minute of every day? No. But if you change your mindset to try and see joy, or just one good thing in every day, your mindset over time changes to see more positive than negative. And that is what I am trying to do for myself as well, guys. Just a little handy hint there. Even if it's been a tough day, a tiring day, a negative day, try your hardest to find just one thing in that day that was happy, that was positive. And even if it's a small thing like managing to drink your cup of tea while it was still hot, or you managed to get out of bed and face the day, or you managed to wash your hair for the first time in a week. Go you, find that positive and keep building on those positives. Let's build on the positives. Let's build on the kindness and support rather than dwell in the sad and the bad and the angry and the negative, because ultimately we don't want to be in those places. So if anybody needs somebody to talk to, my inbox is always open. I encourage that. I welcome that. I am a very, very busy person though. So even if it does take me a little while to respond, just know that I will respond. And let's just keep doing our wonderful thing in this fibre community. Let's just keep loving on each other, helping each other, supporting each other, building each other up, and inspiring each other with our beautiful fibre makes, and sharing our inspirations and our joys, because that is somewhere I want to be, and that's somewhere I believe that I am. So let's do this, guys. If anyone else feels like they want to do this tag, please feel free. Like I said, it is hashtag FibreArtistNopes2025. Credit goes to the Spoonie Stitcher and credit to the person who tagged me, which is Jules Crafts. I am not going to put the pressure by naming anyone. Just if you see this, you fancy giving it a go, you need content for your channel, go for it. And you can say that it was an open tag from me. So yeah, have a go if you want to. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, guys. I know your time is precious. I will see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is a diamond painting video. I know that that isn't everyone's cup of tea. I don't get a lot of views on those. I don't get a lot of comments on those or a lot of thumbs, but that's okay. My channel is Manfa's Makes, and diamond painting is makes of mine, so they will feature. But you can skip tomorrow if it's not your thing, or you could just have it play in the background while you're busy doing something else. Whichever, no pressure at all. If you come tomorrow, I'll see you then. If you don't, I'll see you Thursday. And until then, guys, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.